All right, so hopefully the sound for this is pretty good. I just want to go over Kumamon real quick and just talk about how how pretty bad it is, honestly. So I'm looking at the Digivolution tree. Now, this is from the official guide per se, from like 20 some years ago. So you can see all the different trees real fast. And you can also find all this information on GameFAQs as well. I just felt like this was a better visual representation for a video. So here I am looking at Kumamon. And the problem with Kumamon, you can see right here. Hopefully you can see my tabs. Um, Grismon, Digitamamon, which is a magical Digimon, Cubimon, Talmon, Sakyamon, XVmon. And then you can't get to the Pyodramon without already being level 40. So everything is pretty much, and you see it on the other side too. You get basically up to Mega Gargomon, and then you're locked out by level 40. So Kumamon actually seems to be the most restrictive Digimon overall. And on top of that, the Grismon line as a total is just giving you magical stuff, which is really, really sad. So I was confused earlier when I was looking at my own got that written some years back, and I was looking at Kumamon, and you can see what I did for everybody else. Like Kodamon, the theme was cutting stuff. So Guardiangemon, Grand Koagamon has dimensional cutter stuff, and then Imperialgemon Paladin mode obviously is the big daddy of swords. Theme cutting, right? Renamon has the Phoenixmon Diaboromon thing going on. Its theme is kind of like the Yin Yang Monmon, Kendramon, Mega Gargomon, Beelzemon, Themis Guns. I haven't really filled out Patamon or Agumon or Gilmon yet, but Vmon was the other one I had done, and the theme was max damage. I couldn't figure out what a theme for Kumamon was. The theme was basically these are the things that my tree gave me. I even said, hey, we're going to call it Omnimon X. That's just me being funny. But basically, using Sakyamon in this lineup makes no sense, right? Um, I guess it kind of, sort of can make sense because you can get Talmon and that can give you the Phoenixmon DNA Jogris, but at the same time, it's like this is just a terrible. This is just a terrible tree. Everything about this tree is terrible except for the actual Grismon, Grappleomon, Marsmon part. In order to unlock anything besides those, you're just it's pure suffering. Let me go back up to like look how many look at Magna Angemon. Look how much stuff it gets. And then you compare it even to Monmon. Okay, Monmon kind of gets screwed over in the beginning, but at Armormon it gets a lot of options. And then honestly, you're going to use Hookmon so much that it doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at Kumamon like this is rough. You get some healing from XVmon. You get a lot of magic and a lot of status effects, but you don't want any of those things. You just want more physical damage, and you don't get any physical damage until basically Metal Mamemon after level 20. Yeah, it's really rough. Your load options are empty. They're just empty. So yeah, everything's locked behind level 40. I did end up looking at all the stuff you can do, and I ended up going with a slightly different lineup. I'm no longer thinking about Sakyamon except as like an early load, and probably more so Talmon, because you're gonna run out of time because you only get Talmon at level 15 anyway. So Talmon's probably gonna be the early load option. We're gonna drop down to Grappleomon. We're gonna get, I think, Metal Garurumon here. And we're just gonna level that out. If we have time for Mega Gargomon, yeah, even better. Because I'm gonna bring up one of the game facts guys and let me make sure I credit this dude. Let me credit him first, and then I'll come back down to this. All right, who is it? Ice Ice Vinet. So kind of like Revenant, but Ice Vinet. All right, so let's go down. No. Sorry, it's like a lot of extra work to find stuff. So my game plan is basically this. I want to use Guardian Jamon, one of the two of Mega Garglemon or Metal Gurumon, whichever one I end up having by the time I get level 40. And then Marsmon, of course. Let's see. Metal Gurumon. So here's the thing, they both get Mechanical Bash. In both cases, it's literally the exact same move, 160, 64. All their other moves are magical. Now, here's the separation between the two of Metal Gurumon and Mega Gargomon. So, Metal Gurumon, his finishing move is magical, so it's useless to me. But his move here, Metal Field, strengthens metals and weakens darkness, which darkness is one of the few elements I'm not going to be running. So that's actually really nice because when I'm using Guardian Angemon, that's giving me ice and fire. When I'm using um one of these two, the metals, I'm obviously getting metal. And then when I'm using Marsmon, I'm getting thunder and wind. So I'm getting most of the elements out of the way. I'm really only missing, I think, darkness and water, which I can get water in there pretty quickly just by using a water power S or what have you. So darkness, so having a field that strengthens the metal and weakens darkness would be cool. All right. And then you'll go see Mega Gargomon. It's basically the exact same thing. The only difference is that its finishing move, I want to show it off. So same thing with Mechanical Bash, but its finishing move, well, it gets Mega Break, which is okay. And then its finishing move is a physical attack instead of a magical attack, so that's actually really good. Um, I still think I'd end up using Marsmon more so, just because of Mugen Hado, but it is an option. And just ends up, it just depends on what I end up having by the time I get to level 40. But realistically, within 20 levels, we should be able to basically grind our way through Mega Gargomon and be very close. Um, Now, I know it seems like Guardian Shimon is further than Omniwan is, and the comparison between the two, I think I like I think I like Guardian Shimon more. Let me see. Just try to find the page. Ah, it's not letting me find quick, so let's see if we can find it queer. Alright, here we are. Magic, 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 magic. I don't like how they did Omnimon, first and foremost. I feel like it should have been fire and ice, and it should have had heat cutter or heat slash, fire slash, whatever it is, whatever the stronger fire cutting ability is. It should have definitely had fire slash, and it should have had a snowstorm or whatever the strongest ice ability is. But this game was made 25 years ago, so no worries. 20 years ago. The big deal would be T Sword. So T Sword being your attack would be nice. So power 400 with an effect to paralyze. But then again, Mugen Hado gives you the effect to put to sleep, which is just as good, if I'm not mistaken. And then Mad Gargomon is stronger, so yeah. And then if I'm not mistaken, let's go all the way back to 25, 425 here. If I'm not mistaken, Golden Ripper is actually quite powerful. Yeah, 400. And with all those things accounted for, when you look at the, come on now, work with me. When you look at the level up line here, from Metal Greymon to Omnimon is basically what 100 points into Metal Greymon, 40 points into War Greymon. We'd already have Metal Garurumon, so no worries there. But it'd be basically 140 points, whereas to Guardiangemon, it'd be 40 points into Metal Greymon, 30 points, so that makes 70 into, excuse me, not 40 points into Metal Greymon, 30 points into Metal Greymon, 50 points into Dino Human, so now we're at 80. Yeah, so it's 80 versus 100 and 140. So it's actually a lot quicker to get to Guardiangemon, even though it seems to be further to the right here. So that's what made me think, what's the quickest way to finish things out? But yeah, it's just unfortunate the way Kumamon's tree works out. It seems like there's an angle to get to either Diaboromon, right, or to Imperial Paladin mode here, but realistically there isn't. Like, you're gonna spend so much time trying to train that up because you'd have to. You only you what you call it? You contribute so little from the first couple, from the Grismon tree and from the Grappleomon tree. Almost all the hard work is done on this side. Yeah, for Digimon that are actually pretty good at getting to Imperial Paladin mode, they normally accomplish a lot of work earlier on. So Kodamon is a prime example here. Down to Human, right? You knock out all the way to Greymon, you get War Greymon up to 40, and then you're straight into Kyukimon, and then you're straight into Omnimon, right? So you've solved a lot of these problems, and also while you're doing that, you knock out XVmon as well, and then you only need to get Stingmon. So by the time you get to Guardiangemon, you're just basically going straight through from Guardiangemon to Stingmon to Pyodramon to Imperialdramon to F to P. Like, literally, you could do it all in one fell swoop. That is a tree that's set up for success right there. Um, and there's even an angle for Diaboromon if you want to put in a little bit more work. But yeah, they just kind of screwed this guy over. Kumamon got this sword on a stick. Um, yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. And it sucks because it's my favorite starter, but they 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 shorthanded it in many different ways. Like, the only weapon it gets at all. You look at all these different types of weapons they have. The only weapon it gets is is the gauntlet, which is a strong weapon, but it doesn't have all the options that these other guys have. Like, why does Renamon get spears, halberds? I don't know why Mamon has an entire extra unique weapon to itself. Why does it get bows? Double-edged swords. Kodamon has its own ultimate after it already has a stronger katana. Yeah, there's just so much going on here. And a lot of it, almost all of it, doesn't involve Kumamon, unfortunately. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Um, why Kumamon is the most disrespected Digimon, even though it's the coolest in this game. So that's all I got. Peace.